This is your captain speaking. Please prep your grav couches and get ready for the juice because we're about to flip and burn and head back into the Expanse. This will be a high G maneuver. I'm Andy, and as ever, I'm joined by a fantastic co-host, the one, the only, the indomitable, Mr. Elton McManus. How are you, sir?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
I'm glad to hear it.
Still coming down from last week's episode. I can say last week's because it's been like a week since I've seen the Expanse.
Yeah, we're releasing these weekly, but unless you'll listen to this in the future when you're just listening to them one after the other. So, but yeah, it's been a week since we've that. So yeah, we're much like Vatachi. We've kind of cut our motors and we're just tumbling another piece of space debris to just have a little collection of our thoughts and have a chat about the latest episode, Back to the Butcher.
Yeah, that's right. Although I'd like to say, just to give ourselves a little pep up, I had some what are they called? The memories on the Facebook. And
oh yes,
2 of them popped up this week with us doing From the Earth to the Moon, where we did Apollo 13, and Band of Brothers, and we were like 1 episode into it now.
Yeah,
and this is the 5th episode of this.
We're well ahead of
things.
It's true. Although when this drops, it'll be a week from now.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Yeah,
but yeah.
I don't care where we're recording. We're like 4 weeks ahead of where we were on them.
It's true. It is. Absolutely. Although on the downside, and it's only a little downside, but it's not even really a downside. It's an outside. Both of those shows only had 1 season each.
Yeah, that's right. There are decisions to be made, aren't there?
Let's just say there's going to be production discussions taking place in a couple of weeks to figure out the future. But that's in the future. We're in the here and now. Or maybe we're in the past. We'll find out. But as I said, we're here to talk about Back to the Butcher. As is tradition, here's the brief synopsis for the episode. Holden and the crew make a deal with an unlikely ally on Tycho Station. Along with his conspiracy theories about Julie Mao, Miller's obsession with a missing girl intensifies.
Nice.
So what did you just brief summation of what did you think of this episode? Because it's quite a step down, I think it's fair to say, from CQB. You know, it's that moment of pause after the action, isn't it?
Yeah, this is waiting for the ripples to subside from last week's episode. This is the calm after the storm.
It is.
And it is a step down, but it's in the right direction. And every season on every TV show has this sort of thing where you have like a big either grand finale or mid-season finale or something in the middle or just something big that goes on, big set piece. And then you have to balance that, don't you? And
you have to have the quiet moments because if you keep the adrenaline up all the time, you just become immune to it.
Yeah, and it becomes the norm, and then you're waiting for the next big thing to happen, and it has to be a lot bigger. We need a roller coaster, and we're getting it. And now we're on the down curve. No, we've already had like the fun down bit.
Yeah, we're back on the thing going up to another. And we're going up on the roller coaster.
Yeah, going towards another peak. We're clicking away. It's that clicky horrible thing.
It was, but this I don't think was a horrible episode. I quite enjoy this episode. It's a bit different from anything we've seen so far. I think this is the first time we've not done anything on Earth at all. No,
there wasn't anything, was there?
No, we don't go anywhere near the inner sphere this time. We're doing all our stuff out in the rim in the past, but we'll get to that in a second. Shall we start on series? It always seems like a good place to start.
Let's go for it, yeah.
So we picked up last time, but Havelock is still alive after having a spear up his jacksie and arrow mounted to a wall. Miller doesn't seem overly impressed that he's alive, and I quite liked when the woman walks in and he looks at her and she goes, "Please tell me she's just a get well soon gift to yourself." You know, he's a bit of an arsehole, is old Miller.
He's a little bit, but then again, he's got his partner who's laying in bed now, and goodness knows how he survived that. Once again, missed all vital organs.
It's true. All the vital organs in his upper, because I mean, you see where that patch is. It looks almost like it went straight through his heart.
That's through the breastbone, isn't it? It must be. Hang on a minute.
Well, I was going to say, if this was Pulp Fiction, you'd have to really ramp up to get that thing in there.
But there's lots of power problems on there as well, where they are.
Yeah, series. It's definitely kind of falling down a little bit. I mean, it's always seemed a bit run down, like people don't really care. When we know there's the water shortages.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but the impression I get is it's almost Anderson Dawes and the OPA just kind of flexing their muscles a little bit. Just the Earthers might be in charge and running the place, but it's the Belters and the OPA which are actually running the machines.
Definitely.
So I wonder if it was almost a little bit of civil disobedience there, just reminding them that we're still here.
Okay, so you think this is more like the where they had the problems with the air scrubbers earlier on as well? This is just we can give you power if we really want to, and we can take it away just as quickly.
I think there was more to it than it's just the station is worn out and a bit run down. Don't know that for a fact. I don't recall that for a fact anyway. But given the other story we see throughout on Anderson Station and the messages going out for that, and given the conversation that Dawes later has with Miller in the bar when he says about how what I just said, the Earthers, they run the place, but we run the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of, I think something like that might be what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know whether this he's still learning the language, isn't he? Once again, I forget the name of the language.
Yeah. Belter Creole, and that reminds me, we actually had a little bit of feedback, if you will, or at least a message sent to me from Murray Christiansen.
Yeah,
and he pointed out something which makes a lot of sense and informs kind of what is the language is about. A lot of it's kind of derived from the hand signals you might get from working in a scuba suit or a spacesuit, as the case may be.
Yeah,
that's why there's so many hand gestures. So a lot of the language, it's not just words, but it's hand gestures as well. So if you need to kind of convey across to someone that okay, thumbs up or stuff like this or things. So a nod of a head or a nodding motion with a raised fist. It's just kind of communicating through body language as well as through just words and things like that.
Well, Murray said if you're in a spacesuit or a scuba suit or anything like that, you have to be a bit more deliberate with your hand signals as well, don't you?
Yeah. It's because, a slight nod of the head or anything like that doesn't mean anything if you're in a bulky suit. So you need to make sure it's very, very clear that people can understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, no, I like that. See, that's world building. It's world building. I love it.
I'm kind of curious, actually. Are you any interest whatsoever about doing the books once we've finished all of this? Because they go into a lot more detail of that sort of stuff in the books.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of curious, has what you've seen in the first 5 episodes of the first series made you go, "Ooh, I might want to see the book for that"?
I am interested.
I
know what I'm like, though.
I haven't done the books yet because I want to experience it as the TV show first.
Mm-hmm.
So when the show's finished, then I'll go and read the books afterwards.
Yeah. I'm interested, but I know what I'm like. I'm so rubbish with books. I really am. I need to be on holiday or on a long journey to read a book.
Yes.
Otherwise, if I'm around the
joys
house,
of Audible.
Well, yeah. If I'm around the house, then there's always something else to do apart from read a book.
Mm-hmm.
That is when I'm retired. Yeah, as if that's going to happen. In my 70s, sat down with a nice cup of tea, cat purring on my lap, and then I go, I have books. Okay, let's go for this.
There's time now.
Yes.
There's time. Anyway, let's steer this ship back towards the episode.
Yeah.
Not serious. We see Star Helix are hunting down the guys who mounted Havelock to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely that kind of you don't mess with the cops. Where you have go and find this guy. If he was to fall down some stairs, that's fine. And if he was to fall out of an airlock, well, shit happens.
That's cool. that is so much like the president out of BSG. Oh, yeah, just throw him out the airlock. Be all right.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's very cold-blooded. It's you don't, we look after our own. So they're definitely taking it personal. But Miller's very kind of uninterested in it, isn't he?
Well, I think he's seen Havelock. He's probably still pissed at him. Mm-hmm. We get the feeling because he's been in that room and he's had a bit of a dig in. He's still pissed, and he can see that. It's one of them things where you think, "Oh God, I hope he's all right." Oh yeah, he's all right. Now I'm angry with you, and so I think he's going through that emotion. And
I think he might also be angry with himself.
Maybe, yeah, because he sent him over there, didn't he? Or let him go over there.
Well, he let him go over there, which was pointed out. And also, the kid's new on the job. He's supposed to be looking out for him. So maybe there's a little bit of self-loathing going on there.
Maybe, yeah. So to distract him from that, he's kind of thrown him into the Julie Mao story.
Well, he's already kind of well and truly obsessing with old Julie at this point. But he's making progress. He learns the name Anubis, and he's tracking the flight plan. And we get to see his cool little 3D lounge computer set up there again.
Yeah, I want one of them.
Very much so. And we can see that the Scopulai's flight path would have taken it to intercept the Anubis's flight path.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like, okay, so something's going on here. We also hear that the Anubis left Phoebe. And as we know from last time out, the Donninger arrived at Phoebe and everyone was dead.
It was wiped out.
It was. So, interesting. Strokey chin.
Ah, yeah, okay. So this Anubis, I'm trying to work out where this came from, though. Because we have the Anubis, it's been to Phoebe, and it's possibly been with the Scopuli. And they're both ravaged, shall we say. And, okay, do we know where it's going now?
Well, I do.
Yeah, well, yeah, you do, yeah. But I'm trying to get from... Because he asked for the predicted flight plans, but didn't really get a glimpse as to, it's definitely heading to Jupiter or heading over here. So I don't think... Well,
he put in a call to an old friend of his, asking for details on the flight path. I can't remember what the guy's name was off the top of my head, but he kind of records a message and says, "Hey, I need the flight path for a ship called the Anubis or Anubis," and spells it out.
Yeah,
and then that's kind of where we leave it off there. But he's connecting some dots here. He doesn't necessarily know these dots are important or connected because he's just kind of focusing still on Julie Mao.
Yeah, and Muzz, is it Muzz? Octavia, Muzz.
Yeah.
She's watching him deep diving into this, and obviously suggesting, well, maybe you want to throw this up the line a little bit. This is a little bit above you. And he's like, well, he's kind of retaliating on that as well.
He's being defensive about it, but I think he was retaliating to be deflective. I think I know why he is, but I think what it is a case of he's falling in love with Julie. He's kind of obsessing over the girl, and he doesn't want to admit that. And so, when she says, send it up the line, he wants to keep it for himself. So he turns around and goes, "Oh, so you don't think I can do it? Is that it?
Yeah,
I'll show you." Because I think deep down he already knows that this is much bigger than him. Because with the data broker and, it was all military stuff and everything in there. It's like, well, that alone kind of should flag some alarm bells.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, go on.
I think the next one is in the restaurant, isn't it?
Where he meets up with Anderson Dawes.
Okay. We have a listener, I think, called Ollie Peters. And he sent me a message saying, why are they eating noodles if there's a water shortage? There's a question.
There is.
Are they like space noodles?
Well, potentially space noodles. They might be cooked in grey water for all we know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be gross.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I also think that there's a water shortage, but it's not to the extent that people are dying yet. Certainly not. If you can pay for it, again, they've got that beautiful garden up in the Star Helix and then the governor's pad there.
Yeah.
It's the cost goes up as well, and it's going to be things like limiting the amount of time they can shower. There's going to be lots of water reclamation and things like food and drink and everything, because I think you've got to balance it off against what can they eat. There's limited spaces. There's no real garden space there.
Yeah.
There's no big domes with fields and plants that we've seen anyway.
Yeah.
And noodles and stuff made out of like tofu and things are probably going to be relatively easy, and they're not very intensive to, well, I would say farm, but to produce there locally.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to weigh it up, I suppose, the amount of water needs to make the noodles compared to the amount of resources to make other foods. They go, well, it's doable.
Well, yeah. If you want to boil potatoes, you're going to have to use water for that as well, aren't you? And then that,
yeah,
I don't know, maybe that's where the noodles are cooked in. But it's rationing is. They're rationing the showers first off. They're rationing the big things. Yeah, there's no people getting into massive baths over there.
Also, Miller's, he's not wealthy, but he's certainly not destitute or in the, he's not down in the slums where, the water's even more restricted.
No.
So I'm sure he can afford to pay the extra they would be charging for the noodles during this time of water rationing there.
Yeah. But
if you remember last week out as well, they're still topping up the tanks of ships which are coming through.
Yeah.
So they've still got enough water to do that.
Oh yeah, there is water flowing. It's just that they've lost the Canterbury, haven't they? And so they're not going to get that supply. I'm sure there are other ones being directed elsewhere to resupply anyway. It's just a political movement to, well, is it political? I don't know. See, that's what I'm trying to work out. I'm still trying to work out these, for a better word, others, who these are, who are these stealth people. I don't know.
Yes.
I need to come up with my own little word, because I'm sure the internet has come up, but if I dive into that, I'm going to spoil myself. So I'm restricting myself.
Others will work for the time being, I think. Not to be confused with the others from the Bobbyverse books.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and the others from Lost as well. It's just a cliche thing to use, isn't it? But damn it, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Okay, so we met up with Anderson Dawes again, who offers to give Miller the guy who killed Havelock. Well, didn't kill him, but tried to kill him.
Yeah.
It seems like a bribe, but is it a bribe? He doesn't ask for anything.
Well, he doesn't ask for anything, but he wants to know about Julie, doesn't he?
He does, yes. And last time out, he didn't admit that he knew Julie.
Yeah.
And this time, he not only admits that he knew Julie, but admits that she was OPA.
Yeah. So he's balancing. He's moving his little chess pieces around. He's got almost a card up his sleeve, and he gives that to Miller for him to use if he wants it. He can use it any time he wants, but he wants something in return for that. And I kind of like this Dawes guy. I love his accent. It's all over the shop, though.
It really is. Yeah.
I'm trying to pin it down. There's some Afrikaans in there. There's some Irish in there. There's English. It's all over the shop. It's brilliant. I reckon if I did that in the street, I would probably be arrested or beaten up at the same time. But man,
or both.
Yes, probably. Yes.
But you'd have a lot of fun getting there.
But yeah, he's I like the way he plays this. He just puts it. Did he give him his phone, or what would be classed as a phone, or like a little projection?
He gave him a burner phone, effectively.
Okay,
he goes, there's one number on there, and if you call that number, we'll give you the guy.
Yeah. But he takes it, doesn't he? And with Miller, is every screen that he looks cracked? Because he was looking at that other screen while he was eating his noodles with a guy called Bosch Neville, I think it was.
Yeah. Neville Bosch.
Neville Bosch. I couldn't work out whether that was his first name or his last name. They both seem to be like
he was looking at the footage from the previous one. We saw Julie beat the guy up on the docks.
Yeah.
Just doing that whole policing thing we keep hearing so much about.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone. I think his personal one's got a crack in it. I don't think everyone he's got is broken. Or maybe it does. He doesn't seem like a relatively careless chap.
Yeah. I reckon he gets given a new one and whoop. Oh,
he needs to get one of those bumper cases, you know?
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? But then nobody will be able to see what he's watching.
I know, it's true. No, I think the reason Dawes is offering the guy is the thug, what have you, is of no value to Dawes. But he wants to know what happened to Julie. Or, as I suspect, he wants to know what happened to the scopuli.
I wonder if he could be trying to find out whether Miller's more interested in policing or his police friends, partners even, than this Julie Mao. He's trying to find out where he lies on this thing.
It could be that, but I think it's more that Dawes has figured out that that Miller's onto something that he wants.
Okay, so this isn't OPA. This Anubis isn't OPA, then, is it?
One couldn't possibly comment.
This isn't OPA. Yeah, okay.
Getting ahead of yourself, old boy.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking that person might pop up later in this episode.
It might.
It
might.
But yeah, he ends up burning that burner phone, doesn't he? He drops it in the bin.
Yeah, he kind of just chucks it in the bin. It's just like, yeah.
He makes his decision.
I do think that was more to just not wanting anything to do with Anderson Dawes than not caring about catching the guy that did Havelock, because he knows the guy's still on the station.
Yeah.
So he might just think, well, I've got more chance of getting him while I know he's here, and I don't want to owe Dawes anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if he's still on the station, he can always go back. It's like a choose your own adventure. He's got his finger in that page ready to go back to it, and he can always find out where he is later on.
You know, the rules are, if your finger's still on the page, you can go back.
Yeah, exactly. And if he's got more information, then he can give him that and get something else. Yeah, they're starting to play each other off now, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. We're, as you said, we're well and truly into the game of chess here.
Yeah.
They're both thinking 3 or 4 places ahead.
Yeah. But he goes to see this Neville guy, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, he goes to see Neville on his ship. And kind of finds out that Julie chartered the ship and was belt hopping.
Yeah.
Kind of sticking it to Daddy.
Yeah. One in each port.
Oh.
Oh, hang on. No, I didn't mean it like that.
I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, you got mucky mind. Mucky mind. Shame on you.
I hang around with you far too much, mate. But yeah, she was kind of becoming sympathetic to the OPA and everything. Mm-hmm. And Miller kind of just, explains that he just wants to, find her, and shows that he knows about the broker. And the guy's like, "Oh, I can't give him up. He'll kill me." And Miller's like, "Nah, I don't think so. He's on his way to become mushroom food."
Yeah, once again, I'm getting confused with this Biz guy that was along last time, who's got a couple of reincarnations. I'm still wondering, is that a name bouncing around or is that a person bouncing around? I'm still trying to work that out.
I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you asking, is the name his actual name, or is it Ask me the question again.
I'm trying to work out the question that I'm trying to ask, but I'm curious as to whether this Biz guy is still alive with Julie Mao, or was other people using this guy's
Right, so the last time out, it was the slingshot racer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, he's dead. The slingshot racer is definitively dead.
Oh yes, yeah.
Busy Biko, yeah. Okay, so the reason the last time out that the guy's name was changing is that the data broker chap had a mod. So every time he was scanned, it would give a different name and a different ID. One which looked close enough to him that at a casual glance, you'd think, oh, that's him.
Yeah.
So it was programmed to just give a random name to get the police off of his back. And, the one that Miller picked up was Busy, went to his place, and then, he was dead and everything. Well, he died while he was watching it there.
Yeah.
So the name has no real connection aside from the fact it was just it was just the one which came up. There's no deeper meaning there at all.
Okay.
So the guy, Julie Mao's Tinder date is definitively dead. Is definitively mushroom food.
Right. Okay. I still think that name might pop up later on, though. I still reckon he might be there. I don't know. I maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I think I'm reading into the stuff I shouldn't be reading into.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I do that sometimes.
But that's fine. We still love you.
Yeah.
Anyway, he gets told he's got to go to this place called Tech Noir, which I discovered is a little Easter egg, little homage to Terminator.
Is that the club?
Yeah.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Little things like that, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, he goes there and asks for the Sherpa, and he finds the guy's, workshop, which just seems a little bit, considering it was supposed to be super, super secret. It just seems to be like the door right behind the counter. So it's like, anyone can look in there when it's open. But who am I to judge? And Miller finds out that, you've got all these data cards there. And I love how he kind of just scans them. You just kind of swipe them under your super phone and it kind of tells you. But then he sees the little hamster with a data slot in it. And he's seen one before over in Julie's place.
Yeah.
So off he trots, opens up the hamster, and hey, I've got a data card, which he safely tucks under his hat.
So, okay, so this data card, does that link? How does that work? Is that when he was going into her apartment first time round and pretending to be her and accessing her, the hamster started running because he thought that she was in the room?
I think it just started. I think it just started running just because it's like motion sensor. It's like one of those dancing plant things you used to get,
Right.
It just kind of, it detects movement and it does it. I don't think the hamster itself is anything other than just a piece of electronics, which the guy had then modified to stick a card in.
Right. Okay. But it's cool that he's got that data card now. He stuck that in his hat that's for later on, isn't it? He's gonna.
Oh, it's for safekeeping, that is, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna put that out later.
You've got to justify that hat somehow.
Yeah, it's true. But it's to keep his incredibly amazing haircut underneath there as well.
It's true. It is pretty damn impressive.
It is. Okay, his haircut reminds me of. Did you ever watch the cartoon Droids?
Oh, the Star Wars one.
Yeah, the Star Wars
yes.
one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the very first episode of that, where there's two guys who are driving around some sort of speeders and they pick up R2-D2, C-3PO, and there's one dude who has half his head shaved and the rest of it is like really long and flops over his face. That's who he reminds me of. I think of him every single time I see him take his hat off. It's brilliant though. I love it. I hadn't thought about that cartoon for years. And then he took his hat off. I was like, I know that haircut.
Oh, there you go. I vaguely remember droids. That is about as far as it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's got the card under his hat, and he's off with a hopper, skipping a little skipping his step, right up to the point he's kidnapped.
Yeah, he looked really happy with that as well, didn't he? He was singing in the rain moment.
He was singing in the rain. He was very, very happy with himself. He's like, hey, I've done some police work. I've done detecting. I found the thing. I'm going to go back and order a pizza, and then, nope, bag over the head.
Okay. The people that have nicked him, this is what I think, are related to Dawes. Is it his name?
Anderson Dawes, yeah.
Anderson Dawes. They're Dawes guys, and they're nicking him because they still want the information from him, because they know that he hasn't made that call about the guy who stuck Havelock. That's what I think, anyway.
Well, I guess we'll find out next week, won't we?
Yeah. And it must be hard, man. It really must be hard. You're just like, no, you're way off. You're way off. But that's where I'm going with that. He still wants that information.
Oh, yes. And Dawes doesn't strike me as the kind of person who takes kindly to not getting what he wants.
We're going to have some wicked torture scenes later. We're going to have proper lethal weapon chained up and electrocuted type stuff. Kind of hoping anyway.
Well, as I say, you'll all have to tune in next week to find out what happens. But we're not done here yet.
No.
Or we're done on series, but we're done here now.
Okay.
So we're over on the Tachi, which we have borrowed, inverted commas, from the Doninger before it went kablooey.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Holden kind of having a little nap, minding his own business, right up until a point some blood kind of just splats on his face.
Yeah, we're not propelling ourselves along, so we have no G, really, do we?
Yep, we're just tumbling. Another piece of space debris just spinning between, I believe the caption says between Jupiter and the belt.
Yeah.
So you're kind of in that kind of range. But yeah, they've escaped from the explosion of a Doninger, and he's shut down the engines and turned off the transponder. And unless you look out the window and actually look at it, it's completely invisible.
Mm.
So yeah, Lopez is dead. Alas, Paul Lopez.
Yeah, when we were on the Doninger, I didn't know whether I liked him or not. I was still up and down with him. I liked his appearance. I liked he looked very dominating with all the slick.
He looks like
hair.
Peter Serafinowicz.
Yeah, but all the interrogation. I thought we were getting, as you said at the end of the last episode, like a band of brothers, and he would be like the interrogator. And we've already got the someone who could repair the ships. And we have our captain, and we have our heavy man as well. So we're getting into these little pigeonholes of people that can only do one thing, but they do that one thing very well. And I thought he was going to be like the interrogating sort of thing, and he's dead.
He's dead.
That's it. And they put him in a bag, which was weird. I thought they were cooking popcorn. It just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I was hoping that should have been the other way around. They should have removed all the air out of that. You know, when you put like your winter clothes up in the loft and you use one of them vacuum bags.
Okay, yeah.
Just there we go. And then send him out.
Yeah, I don't quite know, because I would have thought you want to remove the air because you remove the chances for any decomposition. But then again, it is freezing him as well. So, I don't know.
Is that what was happening? They were freezing the body there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, when he pressed the button, and it all kind of clouded the window.
Yeah.
So
see, now after Havelock coming back, well, not really dying properly. Anyone can really come back now, can't they? I'm not saying he's going to, and we didn't really see why he died.
I think he died mostly from taking a rocket to the chest.
Did he take a rocket to the chest?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's gonna scupper your day, really, isn't it?
It is. It's going to ruin your day a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he almost dies off camera because, obviously he was wounded at the end of the last one.
Mm.
He says his little, I would have liked to have seen Montana moment before he dies. And then this time he's dead. And yeah, I quite liked him. He definitely in the beginning came across as a evil, interrogating, like, hard ass.
Mm.
But I liked his little speech about how, he would have liked to have seen an ocean on Mars and things like that. He truly cared about his planet and, doing the right thing. And he agreed to come and rescue the rest of the camp survivors. So I think he was a good guy, and it's a shame he had to die.
Yeah. And they receive an incoming call. Oh no, what's his name? Amos. He's got like a broken leg. He's got
a bit of a bone sticking out of his leg, yeah, and he's not too happy about it.
I was looking at that going, what's stuck in his leg? Oh no, nothing's stuck in his leg. It's sticking out from his leg.
It's sticking out from his leg, and Naomi's like, I can fix ships, not people. You got Alex with the first aid kit, which has got that weird kind of wraparound cast, which looks a lot like they actually used ones like that now. They're like 3D printed or something.
Yeah.
And they're like got holes and everything to be ultra lightweight, but this one kind of fills up with goo and hardens and kind of clamps on. I like it. He's having he's got the anesthetic and the sterilizer, and he goes, "Which one do I?" And Amos just grabs the anesthetic and just stabs it in his knee. He goes, "Okay, well, that answers that question."
Where the characters on this now, they're really starting to develop, I think.
Oh yeah, we're definitely getting a lot more of a sense of who they are because we're spending more time with them, and they're spending more time with each other.
Yeah,
they're still developing, but it is nice that we're, starting to see who they are.
Yeah.
And as I said last time, they're becoming more of a characters I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I think once you said that, I think I noticed the change a little bit. Everyone was a little bit deadpan and playing their cards to their chest, but now they're kind of on their own. They've got their own ship now, and
yes,
they're all. It's like Serenity, really, isn't it? They have their own little home.
They spent a lot of money on the sets for that ship, and we're going to see them this time.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Yeah, well, we got some good pans around as well, didn't we?
Oh yeah, I love the Rocinante. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
As you mentioned before, they got a message. Mm-hmm. Someone's been giving them a call, and it's Fred Johnson, who we saw last time out on Tycho Station.
So how does he know where they are then?
He doesn't know where they are because it's a wide beam transmission.
Yep.
That's being sent out. He's guessing roughly where they are, and presumably because he was watching the battle at the time, and he's a lot closer than Earth was. He would have seen Batachi escaping, or been able to because he was watching it. So he knows that Batachi's gotten away, but that's just about all he does know. So he's kind of sending a message in that general direction for them to pick up.
Well, yeah,
because you've got two types of messaging system, 3 types actually. You've got wide beam, you've got tight beam. So wide beam's kind of, as it suggests, over a wider area. But I think if it's a wider area, it's less range.
Right.
It can't go as far.
Wave.
Medium wave, yeah.
Yep.
Then you've got tight beam, which can go further.
FM.
And then you've also got laser.
DAB.
There you go. So you pretty much, yeah. So yeah, there's a message from Fred, who's effectively offering them a berth, someone to come and to stay. Naomi really doesn't like him. Doesn't really expand on why. It just says, don't like him, don't trust him.
And we'll
find out why in a bit.
That as well, aren't we?
Yes. We are. We can definitely guess it's something to do with the OPA or the belt and stuff like that. In given what she was saying out last time about how you think we're all the same. You think, all OPA and all belters are OPA and we're all the same.
Yeah.
But we're not, we're different. So I think there's some of that going on there. She's feeling very frustrated on the ship because there's nothing really broken. It's state of the art. It
is, yeah. Because she walks down the corridor and it just recognizes her as what does it recognize her as? Like a mechanic.
Yeah.
And then she can dive into the diagnostics of the ship. It's like, yeah, we're all right. Don't need you. It's fine. Come back later. Everything's tickety-boo here. No problems whatsoever. Meanwhile, we have Holden walking around and he finds a coffee machine.
And literally comes in pants.
Yeah, that's right. And there was a beautiful moment. He was going through all the drawers. He opened up one of the doors. And I know it's supposed to be state of the art. He tried to close it. It didn't quite close. It's like left ajar a little bit. It's like, okay, that set. Yeah, someone needs to kind of work on that set a little bit more. And they'll have it sorted out next time, I'm sure.
I really like that set as well because it's got there's this large circular window there with all the plants around it.
That garden thing, yeah.
A little garden thing. But yeah, I like that's there. That's there partly to make it a nice place to look at. But those plants are all, taking in carbon dioxide and giving out oxygen.
Yeah.
It's not just pretty. It makes sense as well.
Oh, it works.
Yes.
It works. But it's also, it's not like the Serenity. It's not like the Millennium Falcon. It's not like, I don't know, the Nostromo either.
Well, it's a military vessel, but it's a state of the art. If I was to compare it to anything, it's probably a bit like the Normandy or a smaller version of that from the Mass Effect games.
Right.
It's everything is there for a reason. Everything has a place.
Yeah.
It's very kind of orderly. You've got the decks, which we mentioned before, are stacked because you get thrust when it's accelerating. So the floors are all facing down towards the engine bell. You've got there's like an armory with the suits ready to go and the guns and everything next to the airlock. You've got the mess hall. You've got bunk beds for the sleeping quarters, complete with bottles of whiskey. So yeah, it's detached is just a really nice, compact little ship, which I quite like. And they finally managed to tune into the news for the first time since the cat was destroyed.
Yep.
And they find out that Holden's famous.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is the face of the Canterbury.
He is the poster boy, isn't he?
A little bit, yeah.
There are posters of him around. He is the poster boy.
Well, they're doing the Banksy thing, the old kind of techno graffiti.
Yeah.
And that's fun. As he points out, though, at this point, they're the only survivors of the Canterbury and the Donninger, which means no one's going to believe them. The only place they can go is to Fred Johnson.
I liked it. I didn't even think about that until he said it. Yeah. And it's, okay, the Canterbury blew up and you guys got away. And then the Donninger blew up and you guys got away.
Well, as one of my favourite sayings, once an accident, twice a coincidence, 3 times as enemy action.
Yeah, that's right. I love the first thing they do once everything's calmed down, though, is turn the news on to find out what's going on. Yeah,
I think Alex was just kind of tuning into the news because he's playing with the ship. He's seeing out what he can do.
Yeah,
because I got to tell you, I think our boy Alex has got a little bit of a crush going on here.
On the ship itself?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he's our wash now, is he?
Well, he's yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I quite like when they, they're trying to reprogram a transponder to disguise who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, okay, we need a name. And he goes, Screaming Firehawk. It's just like...
I can't work out why renaming it would blow it all up. I've renamed my horse in Red Dead loads of times.
Oh, obviously you've installed the patch. No, it's so the transponder on the ship, it tells other ships what it is.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be able to fiddle with that, change it, because, pirates would do that. So, they changed a transponder on a ship if the ship's wanted for a crime, or to say they're from a company so they could sneak past defenses. Because unless you have line of sight with a ship, unless you can physically see it with your own eyes, you can't really tell anything besides what the transponder tells you. And what Naomi's saying is if you try and mess with a transponder, it just shorts out. It just turns to slag.
That makes more sense.
With a military ship, though, if you try and mess with a transponder, it might go kablooey.
Gotcha. Yeah, because they've got all them danger things underneath it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. We like some nice warning signs.
There are a few things with this, though, that I love.
Yes.
Number one is Holden. What do they name it?
Rocinante.
Okay, and that means workhorse in Spanish, yes?
Yes, it's a reference to the book Don Quixote.
Okay.
I think it's the name of his horse in Don Quixote.
Right. Once again, books.
Well, yeah. Or if it's ever released a Terry Gilliam film.
Right. Okay. Holden punches it in. Everyone agrees on it.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't press initiate. He lets Naomi do that.
Yeah. He's about to, and then he just no.
Yeah, he kind of backs off, doesn't he? And so is that like a captain's way of, no, because she's very and ahhing about what they're actually doing. She doesn't want to go see this Fred Johnson, but she doesn't have an alternative to do.
No.
And so renaming it it's kind of her saying, okay, right, we're going to go through this.
Well, as Amos points out to her, we've got nowhere else to go. This is somewhere. And as he also points out, but with their track record, Tycho Station will probably get blown up. So, it's kind of win-win there. But I think Holden not pressing initiate is they don't have a captain. They came to the decision by agreeing amongst themselves. Ever since they boarded the Donninger, or before that, they, when Amos said to him, when Holden said to Amos to do something and he goes, well, you think you're the captain now? You think that means anything? No. So as of right now, there's no captain. So he put the name in, but Naomi's the engineer. He let her push the button. I think that was just him not taking that responsibility, choosing not to be the captain yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, a Mac keyboard.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I love it.
It's the Martians, they're highly advanced species.
Oh, well, yeah, but they're incredibly intelligent, aren't they? And have gone down the Mac route. So bravo to you guys.
Oh, yeah. When their spaceships go kablooey, there's no debris fields. They properly go boom.
Oh, yeah. They're properly broken, aren't they? There's no two ways about it whatsoever. You are taking that to the genius bar.
And then we get a little montage walking around the ship, Holden finding the coffee beans and making himself some coffee, and Amos finding himself some whiskey, Alex sitting in the pilot's chair kind of with a picture of his wife and kids, and Naomi all on her own in her bunk.
Looking restless.
Well, she looked kind of a little restless, a little distressed, perhaps. But,
well, I'm wondering if she's got history with this Fred Johnson.
Ooh, yeah, possibly.
She's got history. She knows she knows exactly what they're walking into, as we'll find out in a second.
Well, she's the only one that seems to know anything about him. So, we know that Holden knows something that happened about 10 years ago, which segues us ever so nicely into the last bit.
There you go.
Of tonight's. There you see what's going on there. Anderson Station, 11 years ago.
Okay, so this is running through the whole episode.
Yeah, this is one of those kind of. I didn't remember that they put the 11 years earlier thing at the beginning because I thought they left it until the end. It was on this time. I was
good.
Well, I was going to say it would have been one of those ones if they left it until the end, and you'd be watching it going, "What's all this going on? What's going on here? What's going on here?" And then when you get the reveal at the end. And then you see the 11 years later bit, it'd be like, oh,
yeah, that would have worked better, I think.
But anyway, they chose not to do it this way. But what we're seeing here is Anderson Station. It's a some sort of mining colony, some little station there.
Yeah.
And it's all kind of just shown through the largely through like their onboard camera, and it's just this one room. They're under siege. We established as being some sort of a riot.
Mm-hmm.
Some executives have been killed, presumably by accident. And they're just trying to, negotiate with the UN.
Well, they've taken control of this station,
mm-hmm.
and it's their kids are being poisoned, aren't they? There's treatment or mistreatment of the children.
Well, it's what we saw previously on Sirius Station, where the belters, the working class, the bottom rungs. If someone is responsible for providing things like oxygen, the stuff that we just kind of take for granted because it's here, they're going to skimp because, it impacts their profit margin.
Mm-hmm.
So they've put in poor oxygen scrubbers or what have you. So the children have got hypoxic brain injury, which basically means, the brains have been starved of oxygen and it's stunted their development, which is why the girls having trouble with the the match the color thing.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yes, that's exactly why she's struggling with the color thing.
Yeah, but you can see the father still loves her, quite a lot. But he's trying to do this to stop it getting any worse and to try and help to give all their children a better life. They're speaking to the UN. We're hearing the voice of the guy negotiating, and it's basically like we're not gonna negotiate. We're not gonna do anything like this. And then the miners are like, well, we'll show them. It's only been a few hours or what have you. And then they shoot out the generators, and it's one of those things which just keeps getting worse and worse for them. They take out the generators. Then when they do try and surrender, the UN just isn't interested. Won't even respond to their messages. And they're jamming everything.
Yeah, they're not there for a violent protest, really, are they? They're there to try and peacefully protest against their working conditions, and it's met with brute force.
Well, I think initially it was meant to be peacefully. Something's happened. We don't know what happened, but someone died. And, they say that was an accident. But yeah, the UN have come to kind of just put this thing down hard to stop it. And they're jamming all the transmissions. So they decide to kind of do what Holden did and try and send a message further out.
Yeah.
The whole, if we can get the message out there, then, we'll have a voice. People will have to listen to us.
Yeah.
And you got the guy, he kind of, he hacks into one of the antenna arrays, which is just outside the jamming range, and he starts broadcasting a message, and he gets his daughter and he goes, we're not bad people. We're just trying to make, a better thing, a better life for them. The company refuses to acknowledge that there's a problem. It won't do anything to help us. It won't install better equipment. And then it goes kablooey.
Well, I think you touched on it earlier on, the shots from inside the station as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They are all on, well, mostly on CCTV.
Yeah.
I like that look. You have the graininess of it, and that adds to the 11 years ago as well.
Yeah. It's very claustrophobic as well.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much one room, and everyone's gathered around and sitting on the floor and sitting on each other, and yeah, like you say, very claustrophobic, dirty conditions, really cramped, probably very hot in there as well. Everyone's a bit sweaty and probably a bit worried as to what's going on. And when you get struck, everyone feels it. But yeah, it's all of that atmosphere rolled into one that works. And I think, maybe they did miss a little trick as to put the 11 years ago at the very end after it goes kablooey.
Well, I think that would have been because, the station goes boom and you get quite a moving shot. I mean, it's the way it happens. You got the guy holding his little daughter up there, pleading, and then there's the explosion. And then you just see the bodies he's still clutching his daughter, floating in space with all the debris, and then you just see the UN ship, and it just zooms in, and you see the guy standing there with a rifle. I don't know if the implication is he shot it himself or what, but it's Colonel Fred Johnson, UN Marine Corps, and it's like, oh, so that's perhaps why Naomi's not overly happy to be going to see Fred Johnson, the butcher of Anderson Station. And I think if you stuck an 11 years later at that point, then it's just like
everything makes sense right now, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, they didn't really reveal they didn't reveal who it was until that point. We'll hear his voice. But again, it's just a voice over the radio, isn't it? You know? And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, he was clearly sent there to put that down. The UN were clearly saying, no, we don't give a fuck about workers' rights, basically. The spice must flow, or whatever you want to call it. So they kind of showed up to put that down, and they put it down hard. And yeah, so something's happened to take Fred Johnson from the UN Marine to running a station out in the belt with OPA connections. Yeah,
he's kind of, I don't know, discharged dishonorably. That's the way I feel. Something went wonky along them lines, and now he's just trying to make a living somewhere else, a bit cash in hand, lots of brown envelopes going his way.
He looks haunted, though, as much as you can be when you in a spacesuit. But when you see him looking out over the debris field, he looks haunted. Like he doesn't realize quite what he's done. So, yeah, it's. I don't want to say it's a nice little sequence because it's quite horrific.
Yeah,
but it adds a lot to that story and informs a lot about Fred Johnson.
So, getting hold of these kind of refugees now from the I'm forgetting the name of what's the name of. What did they rename their ship again?
The Rocinante.
I'm going to have to get used to that because that's going to come up a lot. I know it.
Yeah, it is.
But he's going to get hold of them.
You can call it the Rossi for short if you want.
I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to go down that. I want to actually learn it. Come on.
Okay, fine.
He's going to get hold of them as to kind of make peace with what he's done in the past. That's his angle, I think.
That's what you think his angle is, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's trying to do that to quiet ghosts of old.
I don't want to tip hands or anything like this, but one thing I think about Fred Johnson, certainly at this point, is Fred Johnson's largely out for Fred Johnson.
Yeah.
Be it his well-being or his reputation or his name or anything. Fred Johnson, I think, is looking out for Fred Johnson. So we'll see what happens with that.
Okay.
But we'll see next week when we come back for another one.
Yeah.
Unless you have any more final thoughts for this.
Any final thoughts? Let me just go through my notes. No, I'm glad that people got their coffee and drinks and resting, and I like that little scene. I thought that was quite cool, but it was.
I'm glad they got the Rossi now.
Yeah. Okay. So we are calling it the Rossi. Okay, that's fine. If everyone else calls it the Rossi, then yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
I like everything in this episode. I thought it worked really well. I thought it was nicely balanced. And
it's a nice little follow up to CQB. Just gives everyone a chance to catch their breath.
Yeah, but I think we're going to be hit hard with an Earth episode now. I think that there has to be a balance. And maybe Earth might come back a little bit more now.
Oh, it's almost like you've been looking ahead.
No, I haven't. Honestly, I haven't. I promise you, I'm not. I'm really trying my hardest not to. It's just the way that things are going to flow, though, isn't it? You haven't had any Earth, and so you're going to get lots of Earth.
Well, yeah, as you say, it's Earth is very much part of his story, and this entire episode, not even a fleeting glimpse of it. So yes, we will have to see. Next time out, I believe the next episode is called Rock Bottom,
Rock bottom. Okay, so what? For me, that's going to be for Miller. Is it going to be for Miller? He's going to be beaten up, and questions are going to be asked. His mate will get out of bed and then probably marry the lady that he's learning the language from. I don't know. Lots of questions, and I have no answers whatsoever.
Well, we can look forward to that next time out. Cool. Also, would Val like to plug Val wares?
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you for everyone listening to this. We have had a iTunes review, or as we said, a synopsis of what we do. So please pop along to iTunes and give us a very what is the word I'm looking for? Oh, sorry. Just give us a review on iTunes or wherever you pick up your podcasts from. We need them. We need it to grow and to show it to other people as well. You know, the more reviews and more subscriptions we get, then the more people will find us. So if you're liking this, if you're enjoying it, yeah, go out and do that for us, please. You can also catch me on the Black Dot Podcast, which is blackdotpodcast.com. I'm on Shonky Lab. I'm on the Grand Prix Podcast, which is coming back in a couple of months' time. And what else have I got?
It's not a couple of months. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, mate.
A couple of weeks, yes. Flix Capacitor as well. Everything that you can find that I'm on will probably be over at rogue2media.com. So pop over there, please.
And you can find me also at rogue2media.com, because most of the stuff I do is also with Elton. Got the From the Earth to the Moon podcast and the Band of Brothers podcast. I also do the Great Derelict, which is greatderelict.libsyn.com, or just Google it. Go where you find podcasts and type in Great Derelict. You'll find it there. Got a few coming out soon, so looking forward to that. And as Elton already said, there's the Grand Prix podcast coming back soon as well. So yeah, lots of fun stuff for people to go out there and check it out and listen. Yeah, there you go. Well, let's bring this ship back in the dock then, I guess. We've done all of the plugging and everything. Hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, tell a friend, get them to watch it, get them to listen to it. If you're in the UK, in fact, if you're worldwide, The Expanse will be back on Amazon Prime from February the 8th. So that'll actually be, if Elton puts this out on time, it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, it will be, won't it? Yeah.
So seasons 1 to 3 will be back on Expanse on Amazon Prime, and season 4 is coming at the end of February. So go check it out. It is well worth your time.
Yeah, you lucky little people, you can binge watch this. I'm not allowed to.
I actually think it's better if you don't, though.
Yeah. Once again, if I'd binged this, I would have missed so much.
Yeah, it's true.
I think I would have caught half of what's going on. So I'm enjoying the week by week, and it is week by week. I'm really not jumping ahead at all.
Awesome. Well, I think this was the midpoint.
Yeah, that's it. We're halfway through now.
We're halfway through. Oh, okay. So midpoint. What are your thoughts at this point here? Because this is the furthest you've gotten into it after a few times of doing it. Halfway through The Expanse. How's it sitting with you? Where you kind of, how do you feel?
I'm very happy with it. I'm surprisingly liking the Miller stuff. Once again, if it had narration over it, it was just a film, it would be all noir, and it just would turn me right off. But I'm liking it. I think it's because I'm getting small doses in between everything else that's going on. I'm liking the effects all the way through this. I'm on board, and yeah, I want to see this till the end now. I want to see all the other seasons, but it's going to take me ages.
Oh, well, as I said, that's a production discussion for after episode 10.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, so tune in about a month's time, and you can find out what's going to happen there. But anyway, as I said, go check it out. Give it a listen. Tell your friends to listen, and we will catch you next week. See you later. Ta-ra.
Ta-da.